You will learn real fast that doing lesson plans is an annoying, time-consuming process that is required by almost every school in Asia. So today, I'm not going to show you how to avoid doing them. I'm going to show you how to automate them so you don't have to sit here and write lesson plans for hours on end every week for every class and spend more time just traveling and enjoying the areas that you're visiting. So with no puns intended, let's dive straight into it. What is the purpose of a lesson plan? A lesson plan is like a roadmap. It guides you on what you need to do, when you need to do it. It just gives you an objective that you need to meet and the school also wants to see. They're a structure, they're a purpose, they're a system. From start to finish on what the students are going to be learning, what you're going to be teaching, and it's just what's going on in these classrooms. And if you're sick and you have to give it to one of your friends at school and they got to cover your class, they don't know what you're doing. These lesson plans allow them to teach as if you were never gone. It's a total win-win, and in return, they will do it for you, hopefully. Now, if you have taught abroad, you know the stress of doing these lesson plans. You're constantly writing nonsense for hours on end. And these schools, like I said before, require these lesson plans. They could be a weekly thing. They could be for every class you teach. It's ridiculous. But teachers spend hours of time doing these on their own dime because we don't usually get office hour money. By knowing how to do these lesson plan tactics and tricks that I'm going to teach you today, it'll allow you that more free time. And best of all, you can pretty much recycle the hell out of it if you write it like we're going to talk about today. So the first thing we need to do is break down the lesson plan template that I've made for you guys. I've developed this over the last 10 years. I've had other teachers use it, critique it, and I've just updated it and made it more efficient as time went on. So in general, it's broken down into 3 sections. So you have the review and your homework, the new content that you're going to be teaching for that class, and a conclusion and review. It's seriously that easy. But how you do it and how you structure it and write it out is where the key comes in. So let's get into how you actually do that. Reviews and homework. Every class you teach has to start on a high note. You can't start it there like, hello, my name is David, we're gonna do something. This is a secret to Asian education, like it or not. So typically I'll start these classes with some type of activity, even if it's reviewing the homework or just going over what we did before. Now, if this is your first class or if you're just going in for a demo class, use this time as an introduction. Activities to break the ice, get to know people's names, have them ask you questions, whatever it is. This needs to just be an introduction or review section. Don't do anything else. Now, if you are checking homework in this, I'll give you a little pro tip on this. Collect the homework and give it out to the other students and start grading it on the board. Put the answers on the board and allow the students to check the marks and check the answers for you with the red mark or whatever they're doing. This is going to do 2 things. 1, it gets the class involved. It's fun for them because they're checking their friends' homework, right? And 2, they're starting to catch these mistakes in the material, which is helping them learn better. This is why it's so important to do the homework at the beginning, because you're reviewing it. Don't talk about anything new. Just talk about the reviews or introductions only. That's all there is to it. New content and information. This next stage is where you introduce new content and material. This is the heart of your lesson plan. When you are teaching this content, I recommend the 60-40 style of teaching, meaning that the students speak 60% of the time where you're only speaking 40% of the time. You want your students to be active. You don't want to just sit there and lecture. This isn't Harvard University. You're teaching kids in a second language new content. It has to be fun, so make it active. So allow your students to be active 60% of your lesson itself. And also, this is a benefit for you. You're not sitting here lecturing and stressing out and talking too much. You're allowing them to actually do the stuff. Keep it engaging, keep it fun. And most of all, if you can make it competitive, that's a huge plus. But this is where you need to focus on the new material. Now, some basic rules for this is when you do introduce this new material, keep it clear, keep it concise. If they're not understanding it, ask questions. Remember, this is all about the new material. They have to know this to get to the next step of this lesson. Go over the material, ask the questions, have them be involved, do activities relative to the new material. This is how you get them engaged. And when you're teaching this new content, use different means of communication. Use visual, use verbal, use videos on YouTube, put it on the screen, have writing exercises, use the books, the notebooks, the classroom books. This part of it is all the new material. So focus only on the new material. If you feel like you're losing the kids, this is a great time to push an activity. And the reason for this is the goal is not that they memorize all this stuff. You want them to be able to use it practically, because in the third part, they're gonna have to use this stuff practically. So help them understand, use activities, ask questions, make it competitive. If you need help on activities, you don't know how to engage your class, your online, your one-on-one, check the links below. I've written 3 different books on different activities. Each book contains 8 activities that work in every subject, in any situation. They're competitive, they have bonus rounds, and they break down how to do these. And the best part of all these activities that are in these books is they don't require you to go to the store and buy anything extra. Anything in a classroom is suitable to have these activities work, and you can do them on the fly. you're being left out. These teachers know how to walk in these classrooms and crush it with these activities. Check the link below, grab your book, and start filling those lesson plans with activities that seriously work. You see your classes goofing off, they're bored, they're falling asleep, pop an activity, run it on the board, do it, your class is back in action. With retention and conclusion. As you come near the end of your class, you come to the review, the conclusion. You gotta throw everything together. You've taught them new information, they need to know how to use it. This is where we take section 1, the review, and section 2, the new material, and we put it together in a comprehensive review. This can be done with activities. If you have workbooks, do those, worksheets, speaking activities, role-playing, games, anything you want to do, but it needs to put together that material that you just went over in the second part, and also the review that you did at the beginning of the class. Now, if this is your first class and it's introductions, then start having introduction games with the new material. Whatever it is, you need to put section 1 and section 2 together in section 3. Now, I strongly recommend near the end of your class, end with an activity, something light. Don't go crazy, just something light. This does a few things. One, being in Asia, it's about perception. If your perception on the class and students love being around you, this is gonna leave a good vibe with the students. They're gonna wanna come back. They're gonna leave good reviews about you because the school's gonna ask the students about you and the parents are gonna ask the school about you. So this leaves a good vibe. If the kids are walking out after you did a bunch of homework and stuff, they're like, ugh. Make it fun, make it competitive. After you do the worksheet, collect it all, pass it to different students within it so they can see that they're correcting their friends' homework or worksheets, whatever you want to do, or put the questions on the board and have them come up and answer it. Whatever you do, make it engaging, make it fun, and give them something to remember you by. And this also helps with retention. Being competitive, this competitiveness will help them remember the material better and make it fun for them. You're gonna be the coolest teacher in the school. And again, these activities that we use that make you this cool teacher are in the link below. I've written these to do that. So do activities to end your class. Now, we do keep talking about activities. I want to make this very clear. Don't just play games and activities just for the mere purpose of killing time and having fun. They have to have meaning. And that's, again, why these activities are so good. But they also engage the material so the student can reinforce their learning on what you're actually teaching them. If you're teaching about food, they're going to walk out knowing way more about food in that target language. And they're going to remember a lot more about it because the way you did it with these activities and these competitive means of teaching them. So this last part, the review, has to focus on the beginning, section 1, when you did the review and the homework and all that stuff, and section 2, when you had the new material. Throw it all together, and there you go. Now, I do keep talking about homework, and I want to make this very clear. Don't just give out homework to give out homework. I've seen so many teachers give out homework, forget about it. The next class, they don't even check it, they don't even care. The first third, you should be reviewing the homework. Collect it all and hand it out to different students and have other students grade it while you put the answers on the board. There is no reason to take these homework assignments, these books, these worksheets, take them home and grade them on your own time. It's a waste of time. I'm not showing you how to save time on a lesson plan so you can use all that extra time on grading homework. That's stupid. So when you do your homework, focus on doing it in the first third. And don't forget about it. The moment you forget about homework, the students will be happy you forgot about it, and it will be very hard to have them committed to do the homework down the road. If you do this homework and you realize, wow, everybody pretty much failed the homework, like they just didn't get it, this will allow you to focus more on the review. In your new content of section 2, you might have to tone it down. Have everybody mark the right and wrong answers at the top of the paper, write down their score, however you do that, and then just walk around and get everybody's score. You're done. It's that easy. And again, the reason I do the homework, collect it, pass it out, it's not to be lazy. It's because it engages the students. If they're in there grading each other's homework, they're gonna laugh at each other. They're gonna have fun with each other. This is how kids learn. They enjoy, they have fun, and they do this. Talk about hitting 2 birds with 1 stone and also having the students learn a lot faster and better. Genius, right? So there you have a streamlined approach on how to do lesson planning in your classrooms without having to spend hours and days and months writing mind-numbing, repetitive, redundant lesson plans that are going to be required. There is no school in Asia that really just says, oh, don't worry about lesson plans. They all want them, especially if you have TAs, especially if the schools are involved heavily into the classrooms. So by dividing your class into thirds, you have a well-structured layout lesson plan that gives you your times and allots how much time you spend on each section of your class. It clears up any confusion and it doesn't leave you standing there looking stupid like, what do I do now? You know exactly. Every section is gonna be 15 minutes each. 15 minutes section 1, 15 minutes new content, 15 minutes conclusion review. You're done for your class. It's that easy, guys. And best of all, this makes you look amazing as a teacher. It keeps the students engaged and they learn overall. We all know these students study for the test. We all know that's how Asia works. But this will at least allow you to actually help them learn something new without focused on the test. Now they actually understand the material. So this is a total win-win for everybody. And if you are feeling stuck on this whole lesson plan, check the link below. Obviously there's the activity books, but I've also written a lesson plan book that breaks down this very video in a more detailed way on how to write the best lesson plans. If you walk in there not knowing these activities, how to do these activities, or how to write a good lesson plan, you're gonna look foolish. So check the link below, grab your books, get your lesson plans on point, start saving time, and start doing exactly what you planned on doing when you travel abroad, and spend your time going to these beaches and enjoying the culture of different countries. Till then guys, I will see you again.